And this is why I would say this. As far as I am concerned, we are not removing this government for another 2 years. Even his own party leader confirmed that very desperately. I don't know why he seemed scared. He had to keep insisting we're not trying to remove this government outside the ballot until 2027. So we are all in agreement that this government is in office until 2027. As an ordinary Kenyan who runs a small kiosk business, I'm very interested.
That doesn't need agreement.
No. But you see, I need us to move systematically.
Okay.
As an ordinary Kenyan who does a small kiosk business, I'm interested in what is going to happen to me today, tomorrow, and the next day. And for the next 25 months, the person who's president of this country is William Ruto. The person who is CS or what, unless it changes, are the people who are in government right now. And for me, I wish what our opposition was telling us is how we are going to clean up what is happening now. This obsession they have with the next term, right? Even the next term, I have been around politics for a long time. There is no government that has come and not been fought immediately it got into office. So even if, for example, Gachagua became president, God forbid, the minute he becomes president, there will be people who will start fighting him. And we'll have another organization of people against him. So I don't want us to, I feel very strongly, maybe maybe this is what he does for a living. As he said, he's seated here to represent his party.
Okay,
for me, where I would like, I haven't finished my minute.
He's finishing.
What I would like to
insist
is that we need to focus as a country outside the people who do politics for a living. The rest of us who have to go around ordinary business have to focus on getting solutions to our problems for today. Agricultural problems, economic problems. The governance expert keeps talking about economy. We are not going to solve the economy next term. We are going to solve it this term.
So your comment on Jubilee supporting anyone was just an opinion, a personal opinion.
First and foremost, that is a personal opinion.
Okay.
Why am I saying that? Because at this moment in time, we have somebody like Mutahi Kagwe, right?
Yep.
Who is somebody who worked with our government in Jubilee when we were in government. He is right now the Minister of Agriculture. And we had people saying that we gave our experts to this government.
Okay.
Do you want me to now just start fighting everybody for the sake of making DCP happy because they want to do one term? I am more interested in getting solutions for now.
Okay, fair enough.
2027, if we decide to remove Ruto, we will decide to remove Ruto in 2027.
Okay.
We can't remove him now.
Okay.
We have to figure out how does he deliver for us for the next 25 months. Since all of us are in agreement, he's not leaving office.
All right.
For the next 25 months.
Wamunyoro Town MP Ngunjiri Wambugu has called on Kenyans to uphold constitutionalism and allow President William Ruto to complete his 5-year term, despite growing calls from some quarters for earlier political change. Speaking during an appearance on Morning Cave on TV47, Wambugu emphasized that any decision regarding the president's stature must be made at the ballot box in 2027 through a legitimate democratic process. Wambugu dismisses suggestion from opposition figure, particularly within the Democracy for Citizens Party (DCP), who have been pushing for a transition government or early removal of President William Ruto. He argued that Kenya must respect electoral outcomes and follow the rule of law, warning against short-term political maneuvers aimed at destabilizing the current administration. Turning to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission (IEBC), Wambugu highlighted the significance of the upcoming by-election as a litmus test for the commissioner's impartiality and credibility. He said Kenyans would closely watch how the IEBC handled the electoral process, especially in the face of competing pressure from both the government and the opposition. According to Wambugu, the outcome of this by-election will reveal whether Kenya is genuinely committed to democratic values and political maturity. He also weighed in on the performance of the National Cohesion and Integrations Commission (NCIC), expressing skepticism about the agency effectiveness in promoting national unity. Wambugu questioned whether the commission has truly lived up to its mandate of fostering inclusivity, mitigating ethnic competition, and eradicating tribal discrimination.
The 22 by-elections. I think Kenyans are going to, first, even as we talk about people competing against each other, I think the most important people here are Kenyans who are going to be watching how IEBC is actually going to deal with these by-elections, because this is what is going to determine whether we can believe in them or not as we head to the next election. This is the first series of by-elections this new team is going to have, and Kenyans are going to be watching to see how they'll actually handle them. Will they bow to pressure, whether from government or from opposition, in terms of how they are going to manage these by-elections? So the most important thing, beyond the personality clashes that will be there in terms of whether it is Gachagua or Ruto or Raila and anybody else, is those of us who are not direct stakeholders in this particular election will be watching to see IEBC and how they will behave in terms of how, because once we see how they'll behave with these 22 by-elections, we'll now know whether we have an IEBC or it is a creature that was created to achieve a certain end. Second thing, these by-elections are also going to help us test these unity bids that we are seeing, whether in government or in opposition. Remember, within government, we have a unity bid of broad-based, right? And then in opposition, we have all this very, very fluid, evolving unity bid of people who are in government, some who are still in government, by the way, because they are members of parliament of a party that is in government, who are now gone to opposition. And then we have people who are old opposition people. And it's going to be interesting to see, as I listen to Bai explain that they're going to choose some of the by-elections and decide whether they're going to see which party can run a candidate and whether the others are going to support it. It will be interesting to see that during these by-elections. It's also going to give us a glimpse into 2027 and whether these teams can actually get to 2027 as they are. The third thing I see, for those of us like Jubilee now, it's also going to be an opportunity for us to see whether we have learned anything from the last election and during the last 3 years. Because, see, as like for us, for example, as Jubilee, we're going to have to sit down and ask ourselves, do we want to do all 22 by-elections? Are we going to be strategic and do some? Are we going to support opposition or are we going to support government? So you see, the advantage for us, we are at a position where we can actually do either. As we start now lining up these by-elections, we can decide this one, the best candidate. Because also remember, you also want to get the best candidate for the job. You don't just want to win. Because again, and this is something we must agree we learned from 2022.
Okay.
I keep remembering the leader of the new party saying that the people who are elected in 2022 are stupid and foolish. Right? A particular group of leaders from a particular community that he campaigned for are stupid and foolish. So we must be very, very careful as we get into these by-elections and we go into the next election to start looking at the quality of the person rather than just the party that is coming to front them. And it's going to be also interesting to see whether the people have actually learned, the voters themselves. Are the voters going to be carried in a wave and choose a certain person because he's been fronted by a certain party that is popular? Or are they actually going to choose quality of people? Maybe pick a couple of independents, pick people who are not even in popular parties, but who they believe in. So it's going to be an interesting thing. And finally, we're also going to see whether we actually have leaders who can challenge government. People with, we have had a lot of people who are able to make noise and do slogans and mobilize crowds. This is now where the rubber meets the road, where you can you actually convert the noise and the slogans into a win? Or are you just good for public outcry? Can you actually strategically develop a plan that can make your candidate win an election? So this is also going to be an interesting time. And I think a lot of candidates who are not even part of these 22 by-elections will be watching to see how each respective party leader is going to strategize so that nikifanya kazi na huyo, anaweza nisaidia, naweza shinda. So that's it. The question you asked was...
about your presidential, do you have a presidential candidate that you're going to back in 2027?
This is 2025.
Yes.
And I'm going to borrow something. I'm going to borrow a comment that was given outside here. Allow me to borrow this. And he was talking about the people who know that they have a presidential candidate right now are the pro-government.
Okay.
They have Ruto.
Not sure.
They have Ruto. I mean,
they may decide
boss, you're not pro-government.
No,
I don't even know why you answered that question. You're not.
I'll give you an opportunity.
Allow me to speak.